This is your friendly neighborhood professor giving you some advice that hopefully will help you be successful on Ashes to Beauty. So, first of all, remember that you are giving advice to the president from a Christian perspective. The president has already gotten past the idea that there's a separation of church and state. So the president wants to hear from a Christian perspective. So don't worry about holding back. Don't worry about separation of church and state and that sort of thing. Go ahead and come at it with a full Christian perspective. Now, in saying that, I'd also want to warn us not to be trivial, meaning, well, if we pray about it, God will give us the right answer. That is true, and I wouldn't downplay the effect of prayer. But the president needs to hear concrete advice because he has to take concrete steps. So we want to be able to give him that kind of concrete advice. Next, be sure to address each of the four areas. Who are we as Americans? How do we heal the wounds of racism, the scars of racism? Um, how can we help there to be peace in the Middle East? And how do we work with Latinos? We work with them as if we want them to be part of soup, salad, or salsa. So you want to talk about each of those four issues for sure, because there's needs in each of those areas. In terms of advice now, remember that you're giving the president advice in three specific areas. One, first of all, what can the president do as an executive order to change the way the government does business, to change the way each of his 14 departments and other agencies that report directly to him, how can he change the way they do business? He can do that with a stroke of his pen by issuing an executive order. And sometimes the way the government does things kind of sets the tone for how business and nonprofits do as well. So that would be one area where you can give them advice on how to do things. The second would be with respect to laws in Congress. Now remember, the president cannot pass laws. His recourse is to lobby members of Congress, which means people from his party and people from the other party, and ask them to make changes in the laws. So you'll want to give them some advice on which laws to change and how to change them, and maybe some advice on how to approach Congress. The third area is the bully pulpit that the president has in talking to the American people. He can convince the American people by going on TV, giving speeches, helping for ad campaigns, and that sort of thing. So what message would you like the president to be able to give directly to the American people to sort of help them to be a partner in working in each of these four areas? So you want to give the president some advice on that as well. So finally, be sure you read the description of Ashes to Beauty on Blackboard, that you understand it thoroughly, and make sure you deliver everything that's asked for. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you can do.